Have you ever noticed that there is a type of tiredness that is different? It's not just the tiredness of "I worked hard" or "it was a long day." It's that tiredness that makes you get into bed, believing that you're finally going to pass out. But when you put your head on the pillow, your body doesn't seem to get the message. And then comes the cruelest part. You're exhausted, but you can't relax. You lie down, and rest doesn't come. Now answer me honestly. Do you feel your body lying down but not relaxing? Do you turn off the light, close your eyes, try to breathe, but your chest is still tight? Does the jaw lock? Does the neck get stiff? Does your breathing become short? It feels like there's something inside you saying, no, it's not time to turn it off yet. And the worst thing is that you look at it and think, it must be insomnia, or I'm the one who's anxious, or even, it must be my cell phone, my stress, my head won't stop. But today I want to show you something that almost no one realizes. Many people don't have insomnia. He has chronic tension. And that difference changes everything. Because insomnia is when sleep doesn't come. But chronic tension is when sleep even tries to come. But your body doesn't allow it. It's as if rest were a threat. It's as if, when you most need to switch off, your internal system decides to stay on. And this is the big secret behind so many people who say, I haven't been able to sleep well for years. Maybe the problem isn't in your sleep. Maybe it's the state of your body. This is very important here. Silent tension is not nervousness. It's not just a passing concern. It's not in your head. It's a pattern, a mode of operation, a type of constant alert that accumulates inside, day after day, until it becomes your new normal. And you know the scariest thing? You may be like this and not even realize it, because you wake up, work, solve things, talk, smile, run, and on the outside, everything seems fine. But inside, your body is in alert mode, in survival mode, as if rest were dangerous. And that's exactly what's been sabotaging your sleep for years. Your body lives as if something is about to happen, even when there is no real danger, even when you're safe inside your room, even when everything is silent. The problem is that your brain doesn't differentiate that well between what is a real danger and what is an emotional danger. He understands signs. And when your body is tense, rigid, breathing short, heart racing, muscles locked, the brain interprets this as a threat. And threat for the brain means only one thing: wakefulness. And wakefulness means blocked sleep. In other words, it's not that you don't want to sleep, it's just that your body thinks it can't sleep. And that's why he keeps you awake. That's why your body resists. That's why you feel that strange state of, I'm too tired but I can't switch off. You may be sleep deprived, but your nervous system is on alert. You may want to rest, but your body no longer trusts rest. And maybe this sentence here will hit you hard. You can't sleep because your body no longer trusts rest. Now, if this made sense to you, if you already live this or know someone who does, leave an "I feel this" here in the comments, because I need to know that you are with me on this. And stay until the end, because what I'm going to show you today can completely change the way you see your sleep, your anxiety, and that tiredness that never goes away. And the worst thing of all is that this tension doesn't appear out of nowhere. It has been building for years, without you realizing it. And that's where the most dangerous part comes in. Because when I say that this silent tension has been building for years, I'm talking about an invisible process. A process that happens slowly, day after day, without fanfare. And because you live like this for so long, your body starts to believe that this is normal, that this internal pressure is just life, that this tightness in your chest is just responsibility, that this accelerated mind is just productivity. But deep down, you are being trained every day to stay alert. And that takes a toll when you try to sleep. Now, if what I'm saying sounds like your life, comment here now. My body doesn't shut down. I want to see how many people are going through exactly this in silence, thinking the problem is lack of sleep, when in fact it is excess accumulated tension. And this comment is important not only for the channel's engagement, it's important because when you write it, you admit to yourself, okay, I'm not imagining it. This is real. And let me ask you something very sincere. If you've ever experienced that feeling of lying down exhausted and still not relaxing, leave a like now. Because the like is a signal to the algorithm that this content needs to reach more people who are suffering in the same way. There are many people thinking they have insomnia, taking medication, blaming themselves. It's called feeling weak, when in fact their body is stuck in survival mode. And this video could be a turning point for someone. And of course, If this topic makes sense to you, subscribe to the channel now, because here we're going to talk exactly about that. Sleep, racing mind, silent anxiety, chronic tension, nervous system on alert, nocturnal habits, everything that no one explains properly but destroys your energy from within. And I promise you will start to understand your body like you never have before, because what almost no one tells you is that no matter how much you want to sleep, it doesn't matter how tired you are. If your brain understands that you are under threat, it won't let you shut down. He doesn't let you sleep soundly. He stands guard. He protects you, even when there is no danger. And that's why there are people who sleep 7-8 hours and wake up worse than when they went to bed. Because the body slept, but the nervous system did not rest. And maybe you identify with this. You lie down, try to breathe, try to relax. But inside your body, there is a hidden agitation, as if rest were uncharted territory, as if stopping was dangerous, as if existing in silence were a threat. And then sleep becomes a struggle. The bed becomes a battlefield. And the night, which should be the safest time of your day, becomes the time when your body sabotages you the most. And what makes it even more cruel is that most people don't even realize that they've been living like this for a long time. They think it's just a phase. They think it's just stress. They think it's just a normal adult thing. Only it isn't. The body was not made to live at this level of tension all the time. And when he spends years accumulating this, he changes. He adapts. He learns to stay ready, always ready. And now I'm going to show you exactly how this tension forms, how it sets in without you realizing it, and why it intensifies just when you need to sleep the most. Because when you understand this part, you'll realize something scary. Maybe you've been trying to sleep the wrong way for years. Perfect. Now we get exactly to the root of the problem. Because if you understand that this silent tension has been sabotaging your sleep for years, you also need to understand something that changes everything. This didn't start yesterday. This was not born out of nowhere. This was built, repeated, reinforced, until it became a program inside your body. An automatic program, a default mode. And the longer you live like this, the more your body learns that switching off is dangerous. Most people think tension is an emotional thing, like nervous, worried, anxious. But chronic tension is not a feeling. Chronic tension is conditioning. It's training. It's your body being trained every day, in microdoses, to function at its limit. And you don't even notice, because you're too busy living. You're running too much, solving too much, swallowing too much, adapting too much. And then I ask you a very serious question. Do you remember the last time your body spent a whole day without rushing? No charge, no stimulus, no screen, no mental noise, without that feeling that you have to do something? Most people don't remember, because today we live in a routine that is a tension factory. And the worst thing is that we call this normal life. Your body wakes up and receives stimulation, notification, message, agenda, clock, account, term, problem. And before you even brush your teeth, your mind is already on tomorrow, it's already on the ticket, it's already on fear, it's already on what you need to solve. Your nervous system didn't even have time to wake up in peace. He wakes up alert. You get out of bed already running. Coffee becomes a weapon to keep you functioning. And the day becomes a cycle of pressure. Pressure to produce, pressure to perform, pressure not to fail, pressure to be strong, pressure to respond quickly, pressure not to stop. You spend hours on automatic, and this creates a kind of invisible tension, as if your body was always prepared for something. And the cruelest thing is that even when you physically stop, the mind continues. Because today the world doesn't let you really switch off. You don't have a break. You have breaks. And break doesn't rest anyone. You stand still for 5 minutes and then pick up your cell phone. You lie down on the couch and open a video. You sit down to relax and turn on something. And then you think you're resting, but your brain continues to receive stimulation, receive light, receive information, receive comparison, receive dopamine. Your body does not recover. He continues to react, because stimulus is command. Stimulus is a sign of activity. And activity for the brain means stay awake. And this is how the voltage is programmed. Your body learns a silent language. The world is fast. I need to be ready. I can't relax. If I turn off, I delay. If I stop, I lose. If I rest, I fail. Maybe you've never said it in words, but your body has learned it through sensation. He learned through routine. He learned through repetition, because the nervous system learns through experience, not theory. And during the day you endure it. You live, you work, you perform, you adapt. But there is one important detail. The body pays the bill later. And the body pays the bill when everything goes silent, when you turn off the light, when there is no longer any external stimulus to distract you. And that's where a lot of people get confused. The person says, during the day I'm fine, but when the night comes, it gets worse. And yes, because during the day you have distractions, you have noise, you have tasks, you have people, you have movement. But at night it's just you and your body, and the body doesn't lie. The body shows what you have been keeping. It shows what you have been holding. It shows how much tension you have been living in without realizing it. And then all hell begins. You lie down and your body doesn't relax. Your jaw locks like you've been holding something for years. Your neck feels stiff, as if you are carrying invisible weight. The chest tightens as if there isn't enough air. Breathing becomes short and shallow because the body does not go into rest mode, it goes into vigilance mode. The heart races even when lying down because the brain understands that there is still a threat. And the threat can be real, or it can be emotional. For the body, it's the same thing. And here is one of the most important phrases in this video. The body does not relax because it is used to surviving. And that hurts. Because surviving is not living. And many people today are surviving, not because there is a real war, but because the routine has become an internal war. A war of stimuli, demands, pressure, a racing mind, broken sleep, emotional exhaustion. And that's why you live so many days on edge. That your nervous system has forgotten how to rest. He forgot, literally, like a muscle that no longer remembers how to relax, like a mind that no longer remembers how to silence, like a body that no longer knows how to trust rest. And then the saddest paradox happens. The bed becomes a place of struggle. You look at the bed and it doesn't mean peace. It means battle. It means, I'm going to try to sleep and maybe I won't be able to. It means frustration. It means fear of sleep itself. It means anticipatory anxiety. You already lie down tense because your body is already expecting failure. And the more you try to control your sleep, the less sleep comes. Because sleep cannot be controlled. Sleep is allowed. But his body doesn't allow it, because he's still at war. And you know what's scarier? Many people can even sleep, but he sleeps poorly. A light sleep, a sleep that any noise wakes up, a sleep that feels like you don't dive into, a sleep that doesn't recover. And then you wake up and think, damn, I slept but I'm tired. And of course it is, because your body slept, but your tension stayed awake. His body rested on the outside, but inside he remained alert. And if you don't break this, you can sleep 8 hours and still wake up tired because your body is still at war. And in the next point, I will show you exactly the real impact of this on your brain, on your energy, and on your life. Because when this cycle repeats itself for a long time, it starts to steal things that you don't even notice. And that's when the problem stops being bad sleep and becomes a silent wear and tear that affects everything. And now we get to the part that hurts the most. Because by now you've already understood that this silent tension is not cool. It's not exaggeration and it's not in your head. She is real. She is physical. It is a state of your body. But what you may not have realized yet is how much damage this causes. Not just in your night, but in your entire life. Because when your body goes nights and nights without really shutting down, it starts to change you from the inside, in a way that seems small at first, but becomes a whole. And the worst thing is that it doesn't come as a shock. It arrives as a slow wear. You lie down and even fall asleep. But it's that light sleep. A sleep that doesn't completely erase you. A sleep that doesn't hug you. You sleep, but it feels like you're still half awake inside. Any noise wakes you up. Any light is uncomfortable. Any thought becomes an explosion. You wake up in the middle of the night and wake up with your body racing, as if you had been pulled out of rest. And then you look at the clock. 2 a.m., 3 a.m., 4 a.m., and your chest tightens just thinking about waking up early. And maybe you've already experienced this. You wake up in the middle of the night and your mind starts spinning as if it were midday. You remember old things. You think about what you said, what you didn't say. You foresee arguments that never happened. You go over bills, commitments, problems. And even when you try to stop, it seems like something is pushing you back to this whirlwind. And then comes the cruelest feeling. I didn't turn it off. You slept, but you didn't rest. You stayed in bed for hours, but didn't regain any energy. You even closed your eyes, but your body didn't enter that deep place where the organism rebuilds itself. And when this becomes routine, do you know what happens? You begin to experience a tiredness that doesn't go away, a tiredness that is not just physical, it is emotional. You wake up and don't feel like it. You wake up and you already feel heavy. You wake up and already feel irritated. And then you start to ask yourself, what is happening to me? But no one taught you to connect this to sleep sabotaged by chronic tension. Your body begins to wake up and become alert. And that's desperate. Because morning should be the time when you are reborn. But when you spend the night on surveillance, your brain wakes up in survival mode. You open your eyes and already feel like you're late. As if I owed it. As if he was running. And without realizing it, you start to depend on stimulation to function. Coffee, sugar, cell phone, notification, loud music, hurry, anything that pulls you out of the state of exhaustion. And that's when the cycle starts to close like a trap. Why pay attention to this? When you sleep poorly, your brain becomes more sensitive, more angry, more anxious, less tolerant. And then during the day you feel everything heavier. Any problem seems bigger than it is. Any charge goes through you. Any criticism becomes an injury. And that makes you more tense. But you don't notice that you're getting more tense. You just feel like you're getting through the day. And then night comes. And the body charges. And the body doesn't trust rest. And then you sleep badly again. And the cycle becomes a prison. Little sleep generates more anxiety. More anxiety generates more tension. More tension generates less sleep. And then you are always one step behind. Always trying to regain energy. Always trying to save yourself from your own tiredness. But the more you try, the more tense you become. Because you start to get into that mindset. I need to sleep. And when you need to sleep, the brain understands it as urgency. And urgency is tension. And tension kills sleep. Have you ever noticed how strange sleep is? It only comes when you let it. But if you're desperate for him to come, he'll run away. Because sleep doesn't go well with fighting. Sleep does not combine with control. Sleep does not combine with charging. It only goes hand in hand with security. And here comes the truth that explains everything. Your body only sleeps deeply when it feels safe. And that's why you lie down wanting to rest. But your body responds as if you're running away from something. And you may be embarrassed to admit it, but this is very common. You feel your heart beat faster when you turn off the light. You feel your breathing change as the room becomes silent. You feel restless as if your body is saying, no, not yet. As if he was expecting a problem. As if he was ready to react. And that is exactly chronic tension. A state where your nervous system is stuck on alert, even when nothing is happening. And here I need you to understand this sentence because it changes everything. The problem is not your mind thinking too much. It's your body being too tense. Because the mind is just a reflection. Racing thoughts, worry, rumination, fear, anxiety. All of these increase when the body is on alert. The brain creates stories to justify the state of the body. If the body is tense, the brain looks for a threat. And if there is no real threat, he invents one. He rescues the past. He predicts the future. He creates problems. Because the brain hates tension for no reason. He needs to justify it. He needs to explain. And that's why the dawn becomes a stage for thoughts. And then you start to blame yourself. I have no discipline. I can't relax. I'm too anxious. And then suffering becomes double pain. The pain of tiredness. And the pain of guilt. But it's not a lack of discipline. It's not laziness. It's not weakness. It's survival becoming a habit. Your body has learned to survive. He learned to stay ready. He learned not to let his guard down. He learned not to trust. And the longer this goes on, the more normal it seems. Until you forget what it's like to sleep and wake up light. Until you forget what it's like to close your eyes and erase effortlessly. Until you forget what it's like to wake up with peace, with energy, with desire. And maybe this is happening to you right now. Maybe you're watching this video and thinking, oh my God, this is it. And if so, keep this in mind. You are not alone. Many people are experiencing exactly this internal war, only in silence. And that's why I'm talking about it here. Now, pay attention to what I'm going to tell you because this is where the story becomes key. And now comes the scariest point. There is a specific reason why the body maintains this tension exactly at bedtime. And when you understand this, everything will make sense. But before I get into that, I want you to tell me something in the comments, just at the end of the video so you don't forget. Do you feel like you're a light sleeper, that you wake up tired, or that you've been waking up in the middle of the night? When the video ends, comment on one of these phrases: light sleep, wake up tired, or wake up at dawn. I'll read and respond because this is more common than it seems, and I'll show you exactly how to break this cycle. If everything I said here made sense to you, if at any point you thought, my God, it seems like he's describing my life, then I need to ask you something now. Subscribe to the channel, in truth, because this channel is for those who are tired of just surviving and want to finally understand what is happening to their own body, their own mind, their own sleep. Here you won't find superficial advice. You will understand the real reason behind the silent tension, the racing mind, the light sleep, the awakenings, the nighttime anxiety, and that tiredness that doesn't go away. And if you made it to the end, it means you really care about this. So leave a like now, because it helps me a lot to keep bringing content like this. A like is the quickest way for you to tell YouTube, give this video to more people who are going through this in silence. And you can be sure there are a lot of people who need to hear this and still think that it is weakness, that it is a lack of discipline, that it is insomnia. It is not. It's the body on alert. Now I want to see how many people will have the courage to come out here with me. Comment a simple but powerful sentence below: my body doesn't shut down. If you identified yourself, write this. Because in addition to increasing engagement, this comment is a commitment to yourself. It's you saying, I understand what's happening to me and I'm not going to ignore it anymore. And of course, now watch the next video that appears on your screen, because it is the perfect continuation of this topic. And in it, I will show you the specific reason that makes your body hold this tension exactly at bedtime, and what you can start doing to break this cycle. See you in the next video. Good night, take care of yourself, and remember, you are not alone in this.